Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that most of us have struggled with, being too nice. We were taught that kindness is the key to everything, success, love, friendships, but here's the harsh reality. Kindness without self-respect is a trap. Kindness is a beautiful trait, but when it comes without boundaries, it can lead to exhaustion, frustration, and even self-sabotage. Many people grow up believing that being endlessly kind is the key to earning love, respect, and success. They say yes when they want to say no, give more than they receive, and tolerate behavior they shouldn't. But what happens when kindness is given without limits? It stops being a strength and turns into a weakness that others can exploit. People who give too much often find themselves in a cycle of overextending, overcompensating, and over-apologizing. They become the ones who pick up the extra workload, who listen to everyone's problems but have no one to listen to theirs, who sacrifice their own needs to accommodate others. And yet, despite all their efforts, they are often overlooked, undervalued, and sometimes even taken for granted. It's not because kindness is unappreciated, but because it's being offered at the expense of self-worth. There is a fine line between generosity and self-neglect. When you constantly prioritize others while ignoring your own needs, you end up emotionally depleted. It's like pouring water from a jug that's never refilled. At first, people may admire your kindness, but over time they start expecting it. The moment you hesitate or set a boundary, you're met with resistance, disappointment, or even guilt-tripping. This is where the real problem lies, not in kindness itself, but in the lack of limits that accompany it. True kindness is not about sacrificing yourself. It's about giving from a place of strength, not desperation. It's about knowing when to extend a hand and when to step back. People often confuse self-respect with selfishness, but the truth is, without boundaries, kindness loses its meaning. It should be a conscious choice, not an obligation. Saying no doesn't mean you lack compassion. It means you value your time, your energy, and your well-being. The reality is, not everyone deserves unlimited access to your kindness. Some people will take advantage of it, mistaking your generosity for weakness. They will keep asking, keep taking, and keep expecting without ever considering your limits. That's why it's crucial to set boundaries, to decide what you will and won't tolerate. The most powerful kindness is one that is given with intention, not out of guilt or fear of rejection. It's not about being less kind. It's about being kind in a way that also honors and protects yourself. Saying no is one of the most powerful skills a person can develop, yet it is also one of the hardest. Many people struggle with the fear of disappointing others, feeling guilty, or being perceived as rude or selfish. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that saying yes makes us likable, agreeable, and valuable. But the truth is, constantly saying yes can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of control over our own lives. People who struggle to say no often find themselves overwhelmed, burdened with responsibilities that are not theirs to carry. They stretch themselves thin, trying to accommodate everyone's requests, even at the cost of their own well-being. Over time, this creates frustration and burnout because their own needs and desires take a backseat to the expectations of others. They become the go-to person for favors, the one who never refuses, and in doing so, they unintentionally teach people that their time and energy are always available for the taking. What many fail to realize is that saying no is not about rejecting people, it is about protecting one's priorities, peace, and purpose. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to something that does. Every commitment, every favor, every extra task you accept takes away time and energy from your own goals, dreams, and mental well-being. Learning to say no is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-respect. The ability to say no creates space for things that truly matter. It allows people to focus on what aligns with their values rather than being pulled in 100 different directions. Those who master this skill realize that they don't need to justify or over-explain their decisions. A simple no is enough. They understand that their worth is not determined by how much they do for others, but by how well they take care of themselves. Saying no also reveals the true nature of relationships. Those who respect your boundaries will understand and accept them, while those who only see your value in what you can provide may react negatively. But that discomfort is a small price to pay for the long-term benefit of having control over your own life. Learning to say no is liberating. It shifts the balance of power back into your hands, ensuring that your kindness and energy are spent wisely, not wasted on obligations that drain you. Respect is not something that can be demanded. It must be earned through actions, character, and the way one carries themselves. Many people believe that they deserve respect simply because of their status, age, or authority. But true respect doesn't work that way. It is not given freely or automatically. It is built over time through consistency, integrity, and strength of character. The reality is that people respect those who stand firm in their values, not those who beg for validation. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that being overly nice or agreeable will make others respect them. While kindness is important, it does not guarantee respect. In fact, when someone is too eager to please, they are often seen as weak or easily manipulated. People respect those who have boundaries, who know when to say no, and who do not compromise their self-worth just to gain approval. Being respected is not about being liked by everyone. It is about being firm, confident, and unwavering in one's principles. Respect also comes from the way a person treats themselves. If someone constantly allows others to take advantage of them, tolerate mistreatment, or fail to stand up for themselves, they send a message that their own value is negotiable. People mirror the way you treat yourself. If you carry yourself with confidence, dignity, and self-respect, others will follow suit. Conversely, if you accept disrespect, others will assume it is acceptable to treat you that way. This is why self-respect is the foundation of earning respect from others. Another key factor in earning respect is consistency. People who are unpredictable, who say one thing and do another, or who change their principles based on convenience often lose credibility. True respect is built when someone is reliable, honest, and unshaken by external pressure. It is earned by those who hold themselves accountable, keep their word, and navigate life with a sense of purpose. The truth is, people will only respect you as much as you respect yourself. No amount of demands, explanations, or expectations will change that. If respect is not given, it cannot be forced. Instead of chasing it, focus on embodying the qualities that command it naturally. Speak with confidence, set boundaries without fear, and carry yourself with the assurance that you are worthy of respect. Not because you demand it, but because you live in a way that makes it undeniable. The idea that nice people finish last is one of the biggest misconceptions in life. It suggests that kindness is a weakness, that being considerate makes a person less capable of success, and that only the ruthless rise to the top. This belief discourages people from being generous, compassionate, and genuine, making them think they need to be cold and cutthroat to get ahead. But the truth is, being nice does not mean being weak. It is how one balances kindness with strength that determines success. Many people confuse being nice with being a pushover. There is a difference between kindness and people-pleasing. Kindness comes from confidence, a sense of self-worth, and the ability to treat others with respect without compromising one's own needs. People-pleasing, on the other hand, is driven by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of not being liked. When someone lacks boundaries and constantly prioritizes others at their own expense, they may indeed struggle to succeed. But that is not because they are kind, it is because they have not learned to balance kindness with self-respect. In reality, some of the most successful people in the world are not ruthless. They are strategic, emotionally intelligent, and respected. People gravitate toward those who are kind but firm, generous but not naive, compassionate but decisive. The best leaders are those who inspire trust, uplift those around them, and lead with integrity. They don't need to manipulate or step on others to win. Their strength comes from their ability to build meaningful connections and earn loyalty. Nice people do not finish last when they understand the importance of setting boundaries. They thrive when they know when to give and when to walk away, when to offer help and when to say no. They understand that being kind does not mean tolerating disrespect or allowing themselves to be taken advantage of. Success is not about how aggressive or ruthless a person is, it is about resilience, intelligence, and the ability to stand firm while still treating people with dignity. The real myth is not that nice people finish last, but that success requires cruelty. Those who combine kindness with strength, empathy with wisdom, and generosity with self-worth do not finish last. They lead, they inspire, and they build lasting success. Kindness, when paired with confidence, is not a weakness, it is a superpower. True self-worth comes from within, yet many people spend their lives chasing external validation, hoping that the approval of others will define their value. They seek likes, compliments, and recognition, believing that these external markers will give them a sense of significance. But the reality is, relying on others to validate your worth is a never-ending cycle of disappointment. No amount of praise will ever be enough if you don't believe in yourself first. People who base their self-worth on external validation often find themselves trapped in a constant need for approval. They shape their choices based on what others think, suppress their true opinions to fit in, and hesitate to take bold steps for fear of criticism. The problem with this mindset is that external validation is temporary and unreliable. The same people who praise you today might criticize you tomorrow. And trends change, opinions shift, and no one can please everyone all the time. When your self-worth depends on these fleeting factors, you become emotionally vulnerable, always seeking something outside yourself to feel valuable. True confidence comes from knowing your worth without needing confirmation from others. It means standing tall in your beliefs, trusting your abilities, and valuing yourself regardless of whether others acknowledge it. When you understand your own value, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. You stop wasting energy on seeking approval and instead focus on becoming the best version of yourself. This shift in mindset is powerful. It allows you to take risks, embrace challenges, and live life on your own terms. One of the biggest dangers of external validation is that it gives others control over your emotions. If your happiness depends on people's opinions, you give them the power to dictate your self-esteem. But when you build your self-worth from within, you take back that power. You become unshaken by criticism and unmoved by superficial praise. You set your own standards, define your own success, and refuse to let anyone else decide your value. The most successful and fulfilled people are not those who seek constant approval, but those who believe in themselves even when no one is watching. They understand that self-worth is not measured by applause, but by inner confidence. The moment you stop looking for validation from the outside world and start validating yourself is the moment you truly become unstoppable. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources, yet so many people allow it to be drained by negativity, toxic relationships, and meaningless distractions. Protecting your energy is not just about avoiding exhaustion, it is about setting boundaries, being intentional with your time, and refusing to let external forces dictate your emotions. Being fearless in guarding your energy means prioritizing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, even if it means disappointing others. People often feel guilty for saying no, distancing themselves from negativity, or choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. They worry about being seen as selfish or unkind, but the truth is, if you don't take care of your energy, no one else will. Every moment you spend engaging in pointless arguments, entertaining toxic people, or worrying about things you cannot control is energy wasted. And wasted energy means less focus, less creativity, and less ability to build the life you truly want. One of the biggest ways energy gets drained is through negative relationships. Whether it's people who constantly complain, bring drama, or make you feel small, these interactions take a toll on your well-being. Protecting your energy means having the courage to walk away from people who don't respect your peace. It means recognizing when a situation no longer serves you and choosing to let go, even if it's uncomfortable. It takes strength to distance yourself from what drains you, but doing so creates space for what truly fulfills you. Another way to protect your energy is by being mindful of what you consume. The content you watch, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you entertain all impact your state of mind. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, whether through social media, news, or toxic discussions, it will shape your outlook on life. Choose to fill your mind with positivity, inspiration, and knowledge that empowers you rather than drains you. Being fearless in protecting your energy means trusting yourself enough to know what is worth your time and what is not. It means making decisions based on your well-being rather than guilt or obligation. It is about standing firm in your boundaries and refusing to let anyone guilt trip you into situations that exhaust you. The stronger your energy, the more clarity, confidence, and strength you will have to pursue your goals. When you protect your energy, you protect your potential, and that is one of the most powerful things you can do. At the end of the day, your kindness, your time, and your energy are precious, but they should never come at the cost of your self-respect. You were not put on this earth to be constantly available, endlessly agreeable, or to live for the approval of others. True strength lies in knowing when to give and when to step back, when to help and when to walk away. So stop apologizing for setting boundaries, stop fearing the word no, stop chasing validation from people who don't value you. Instead, stand firm in who you are, protect your energy, honor your worth, and most importantly, never let the fear of disappointing others keep you from respecting yourself, because when you truly own your power, the world will have no choice but to respect you in return.